new moon in Capricorn is upon us. The energy is still fizzing, although I believe it was its fullest yesterday. And like I said, this can feel very heavy. It can feel very visceral and very tangible. It's a very full body experience. So if you've had any like physical pain or even just some like more sensitive physical sensations of pleasure, perhaps, this could be why, especially because Venus is also retrograde, which I won't be talking about, but if you know, you know, and it relates quite closely to this energy. So moon conjunct sun, all that means is that the moon and the sun from our perspective are within 5 degrees of each other. So it's the closest astrological and mathematical aspect that they can create. There's no angle to it. It's just a little like arms linked, if you will. So being linked and coming together in union, our sun represents our masculine life force energy of creation, and our moon represents our divine feminine force of creation, and that which is hidden, that which isn't always so obvious. So you have the mother and father of creation coming together and making something new, almost constantly, which is why it can be very heavy and why it's a very physical, visceral thing. We're feeling it right now. The mothers and fathers within ourselves who might be very deeply wounded and might be struggling are also going through some intense transformation right now. And this moon, for that reason, again, can be very heavy and very transformative. If you thought that, you know, just the winter solstice was a massive portal, we're still pushing that energy through with this moon and in this ceremony. So as always, it's an honor. But so what does it mean to be the mother and the father within yourself, right? For me, I see it as like kind of the two hemispheres of the brain, right? You have your right brain, which is the more artistic, and I always confuse the two, but I believe it's the more artistic, fluid one. And then the left is the more logical, structure, and math. So you have these concepts, these dualities of emotion and logic and fluidity and structure and things that seem so opposed, but they're coming together with this new moon. The new moon being the opposite of the full moon, where the full moon shows us an opposition and this shows us a union. So we're harmonizing the hemispheres of our brain. We're also harmonizing, to some extent, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind for our manifestations, for our creativity, and just the general flow of every day. And in Capricorn, of course, this is all about embodying prosperity and success. And I want to really drive this home, if you will, because the word embodying is very intentional. Again, it's this you can feel the weight, perhaps, whether that's the weight of a burden or the weight of your creation, there's a level of responsibility to it. And if we're not allowing every cell in our body to feel the extent of that, it can cause some blockages, some pain, some stagnancy there. So we're going to be talking a lot today about moving energy through you and how that's actually quite a valuable process for when it comes to making money as well. So stay tuned for that wisdom. Our next major aspect is a semisextile, which is 30 degrees, which is, just to simplify this in your mind, if you've ever seen a zodiac wheel, it is the allotted amount of the degrees of the circle that each sign takes up in this particular practice. So it's very snug. It's the two closest siblings, if you will. These two signs that are very similar to each other, very familiar with each other's energies, and to some extent sort of feed off of each other. So this is also really good for boosting this transition. If you feel, for example, that your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are miles apart and you don't know how to bridge the two, starting on that journey right now is going to be very good for you and very prosperous in the long run. Why do I say that? Well, Mercury rules our conscious mind, and Pisces is all about the subconscious and the dream time and sort of just wandering off into fairyland. And Aquarius is about bringing these more loftier concepts into human reality, turning fantasy into something tangible for all of humanity. So we have this combination here of just limitless possibilities and talking about them and not judging them, not saying, oh, that sounds ridiculous, I don't think you can manifest that. No. This is Aquarius and Pisces we're talking about. We're far past the level of self-judgment and self-criticism on the zodiac wheel. especially with Jupiter involved, because Jupiter, which is the larger planet of those two depicted in that image, Jupiter is giant. Physically and energetically. Jupiter transits are intense for a reason. They're very expansive. And so a lot of us too might also be feeling some physical pain or resistance, and even resistance in the dream time, because we're not allowing ourselves to expand. We're not letting our lungs fully fill up with air before we release. And as we've talked about, you got to do both. And that applies to every energy that you move through your body. So this is, like I said, a great time to reprogram the subconscious mind, to use your conscious mind to create new belief systems, because that's where belief systems are stored, is your subconscious. That's why sometimes we have dreams that are so bizarre and not logical, right? They're not conscious, you're not in control of them, but they're rhythmic, they're part of your psyche still. So it also is important right now to focus on, to realize that when you link your subconscious and conscious mind, yes, it benefits your life directly, and it benefits humanity's conscious expansion. So you have a ripple effect. Every time you work on yourself, it ripples out, especially the more you interact with your world because of it. So there's a lot happening right now. There's the external work and the expansion, and then there's the internal work. And to some extent, they're kind of the same. And really great example of this is virtual reality, which has been a hot topic recently. I'm sure you've seen. And if you haven't, well, just Google the metaverse and stick around in the community, because there's going to be more discussion on that whole thing. Specifically though, this new concept of Tesla suits, about these like VR suits that like activate all of your senses so that you can actually have like a virtual reality experience, simulation, that is very much aligned with all of this energy, especially Capricorn, because like I was saying earlier, right, embody prosperity and success. How cool would it be for those of you who might struggle with visualization during meditation, how cool would it be to have a piece of technology that physically enacts your body's sensations to feel prosperous, to, I don't know, simulate taking a bath and a bunch of cash, whatever you want. It could happen. And just knowing that we can create something that can make us think that is one step away from going, oh, we can make ourselves feel this, like we can turn this into reality. So it's literally proof that we're manifesting a reality, in my opinion. And it's very Aquarian and very Piscean. So when healing bones, yes, so much quantum healing too, like when you heal your body, it's not just about prosperity, it's whatever you're wanting to manifest. Like you sort of trick your body into an experience. It's magic, really. So to ground all of this in, because I know it's a lot, tap into yourself now. Let's like exercise a little bit of this just physical connection with the metaphysical. What does success feel like in your body? There's certainly attachments that we have to the idea of success and like what it looks like, but really just for a moment, breathe in. So swirling with the gorgeous energies of Jojo's meditation, and just feel, what would success feel like? What is that sense of success and gratitude and completion? They're very, very Capricornian things. And notice, where that is too. Is it in your stomach, your throat? Maybe it's your pinky, wherever it is, no matter how small or what it feels like. Once you grasp that, how can you amplify it tenfold? Don't think about the action steps or the logic behind it. Focus on the sensation, the tingles, or even the tension. How could you stretch that throughout your entire body? And just breathe into that, and then let it flow through you. And yeah. So that is what I have for you today astrologically, and I just wanted to focus in on that little bit there. So let's ground it in though with some juicy wisdom for our planet.